Today we welcome back Wendy Bonham-Carter, and she's here today to talk to us about the new Bing grant. So her company, Donation World, specializes in Google Ad grants and now the Bing Ad grant. So she's going to give us some really solid advice on everything from how to get the grant, eligibility requirements, tips once you have it, things to watch out for. So with that, let's welcome Wendy. Welcome back, Wendy. It is fabulous to see you again. You did a video for us on email marketing, which I will link in the card and below in the description. But today you're going to talk about Bing grants.
Yeah, hi Joanne. Thanks so much for having me back.
Do you want to start by talking to us about what are Bing grants?
Yeah, sure. So back in May this year, Microsoft quietly announced a new advertising grant for nonprofits. And I think this is very much in sync with them trying to mirror what Google have done with their advertising grant. So yeah, it's a little bit different in the sense of it's $3,000 a month to spend on advertising on the platform. And it's applied as a credit to your advertising account each month. And it's a really exciting prospect. Obviously, we know that 75% of all searches done on the internet are done through Google. But the majority of that 25 remaining percent is taken up by Microsoft and the search engines that fall under Microsoft. So there's a number of different search engines actually that fall under Microsoft, the main one being Bing. So that's their main search engine, but also Yahoo, AOL, Outlook.com, MSN, Microsoft Edge, and one that I personally use, which is the amazing tree planting search engine called Ecosia.
Ooh, I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, that's a really great platform. So they use the profits from all of the searches and the advertising that happens to their platform to plant trees. So every search that you make goes towards planting trees across the world.
Oh, I'm going to start using them now.
Exactly. And that's great. And that's great for this grant as well. So one of the really interesting things about that sort of collective of 25% is organizations that use Outlook as an email provider have their default search engine as Bing. So what you might find is that whilst people are at home using their computer, they might steer themselves towards Google. But if they're using their computer at work to search for anything, they're going to, and they're using Outlook as an email provider, they're going to be using these search engines. So it's this new Bing grant is really, really exciting.
Okay, and I just want to clarify the $3,000 a month credit. You don't have to spend $3,000 to get $3,000. You're just getting $3,000 credited, correct?
Yes. So one of the key things here is, it's applied as a credit to your account. So you don't need to spend anything at all to get that money. You just need to apply for the grant, and providing that you're approved, they apply the credit to your account. But one of the big watch outs there is that if you spend over that 3,000, which you can easily do, you are then liable to pay that additional charge. So one of the big watch outs here is you really need to be maintaining your budgets and making sure that the budgets that you set are not going to exceed that credit if you don't want to spend more.
Okay. And what about eligibility requirements? Because we're in Canada, so is it only for US nonprofits or?
At the moment, it is only for US, and I think that's, for me, that was quite a natural move for them. It's a new product, it's a new rollout. So like Google did when they first launched the nonprofit grant, it was only in the US. Now that that grant has developed, and they keep adding new countries to the list, I don't think it's going to be very long before they add more countries into the mix here. But yes, unfortunately, it's currently only for the US.
Okay. And you'd obviously have to be a registered nonprofit
Yes.
organization.
So the criteria is similar to Google, although a little bit more vague. So it's not necessarily these kind of key things that you have to meet, but in line with what you would expect from the Google grant, making sure that your website is a good quality website. And I think one of the interesting things about this particular grant is they've not made any insinuations about restrictions on which organizations are and aren't eligible, but the grant itself is actually called Ads for Social Impact. So they really want organizations that are delivering true social impact to be eligible and to take advantage of this advertising program. The way that the application process works, again, it's a little bit more vague. And unfortunately, from what we've seen in our experience so far, you only get notified if you get accepted. So you don't get notified necessarily if you're not accepted, and then you can't address the reasons why you haven't been accepted. Again, I think this is, the first stages of the rollout of this grant, and I would expect as the months move forward that we'll get some more clarity around what our organizations are eligible for it, and maybe some feedback to those that don't meet the criteria.
Okay. Now, to apply for the grant, imagine there's a website we go through and then an application process.
Yes, so the application process is very simple. The first thing that you need to do is you need to register for Microsoft's nonprofit program. Now, chances are majority of people are already registered for this, especially if you're registered with TechSoup, which you need for the Google grant application. So the Microsoft nonprofit program offers discounts on a number of different items of software and licenses. So whether that be through Outlook or any of the kind of Microsoft Office package and things like that. So if you're already taking advantage of any of those offers, the likelihood is you're already qualified and registered with the nonprofit program. If you're not, that's a really simple application. It's one form, and then just showing proof of your charitable status, whatever that may be for the country that you're registered in. Once you get that approved, then it's just simply a case of submitting the grant application. Again, it's one form, and it's super simple. It's actually that simple to get to apply for it and get set up, that we're offering that service for free to all of our existing clients, because it's such a smooth and easy process that we're doing that for free for our clients.
And if you've already a recipient of the Google Ad grant, can you apply for this in addition to that?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And I would encourage anybody that's using the Google grant to apply for this for several reasons. The two grants work very differently. And this is what I find hugely exciting about the Bing grant. With the Google grant, you are always limited by the fact that your ads show below paying advertisers. That's not the case with Bing. So you can actually compete with people that are paying for those ads. That's one of the reasons I believe that the budget is smaller. So this provides a really exciting opportunity to actually bid on those high competition, high traffic keywords that you can't show ads for, and that Google just doesn't show your ads for within the grant, but you can show up for those keywords using the Bing grant, and that's really, really exciting.
Yeah, that's one of the most heartbreaking things, is to see charitable organizations become recipients of these, but they don't understand keywords and how Google Ads work. And that's where organizations like you, shameless plug for you, but like Donation World come in and can help you maximize that grant.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the way that we've always managed the Google grant, and the way that I like to explain it to people, is that catchphrase of, explain what you do without actually telling us what you do. And the Google ad was very much a case of that. It was about finding those phrases that were a little bit on the sort of periphery of what you do, but still explained what you do without hitting those sort of key high competition, high traffic keywords, and sort of gathering the crumbs of those sort of search terms from those keywords that surround, you know, those particular topics. Whereas with the Bing grant, it's very much like a normal PPC, pay-per-click campaign. You don't have to think about, okay, what the long tail keywords do I need to add in, or what might somebody be searching for where they might still be interested in the work that we're doing. No, with Bing, you can get really to the point very quickly, and you can really start targeting those keywords. One of the other great things about being able to do that is it's going to tell you as an organization where it might be profitable to actually invest more money in paid advertising. So if you're seeing a really good return on that ad spend in Bing for those high competition keywords, it might be then that you allocate some budget to a paid campaign in Google Ads to bolster those keywords as well, because you've already kind of tested them with Bing and you're seeing the return on the investment. So the risk of investing that money into a paid search campaign on Google becomes much less.
And any tips for anyone when they're setting up their campaigns? Because I know that's going to be a question.
This is the best tip ever. I'm sorry, I can't hide my excitement with this, because honestly, from start to finish of getting this set up, it's just been a breeze, and using it has been so much easier than the Google grant. Setting it up, this is the best thing about the setup process, is with one click, you can import all your campaigns, all your ad groups, all your ads, and all your keywords into Bing from Google. So with one click, everything that you have in Google can be recreated in Bing, and you don't even have to do any work. It's really impressive. Also, for people that are a little bit apprehensive about learning something new, the dashboard is almost identical to Google Ads. So for me coming in, I had never really used the Bing platform before. It was like I'd been there, you know, forever. I'm in the Google Ads dashboard every day, and I was like, oh wow, this is the same, that's the same, everything's the same, the way that you create ads is the same. But being able to actually import all of that in literally, you know, 1 or 2 clicks meant that we created everything in a matter of minutes. And then all we did was make sure that everything was paused. So as we were importing it, we told it to pause all campaigns when they came through. And then all we did was then select what were the campaigns that we wanted to first test. And we switched those ones on and adjusted the budgets accordingly to make sure that we weren't going to be spending over that $3,000 a month. The only thing then that we did have to set up was the conversion tracking. So just implementing a new code, which can be done through Google Tag Manager as well. And then just making sure that those conversions are set up correctly as they were in Google.
Anything that we should watch out for that you've come across?
Yeah, so I think there's two main watch outs. One of them I've already mentioned, which is the budget spend. So if you spend over that $3,000 a month, you're going to have to pay the excess. So that's a real watch out. Make sure that collectively your campaigns are not going to spend over that. In fact, what we did was we made the daily budget just a few dollars below, because we know that sometimes it can go a little bit up and a little bit over or a little bit under. So just to make sure we're playing it safe, we capped it at a couple of dollars less. And the other big watch out is that there are a number of different partner networks that you can advertise on with the grant. But if you use anything outside of Bing's owned platforms, you can use them, but they're not included within the credit spend. So again, you need to make sure that you're only targeting the Bing owned and the Microsoft owned platforms and not their partner networks.
So what kind of results are you seeing then with this?
So this is the really exciting thing. I think one of the things that sort of blew my mind a little bit is, we've had to be very selective in the campaigns that we run, with the budgets being so different across the two different grants. It's not just a case of recreating every single campaign that we had running in Google and transferring it to Bing. We've had to kind of really hone down on, okay, what do we really want to push? Where are we going to move the needle most? What's going to create the biggest impact? Because the biggest thing that we're finding is that our ads are limited by budget. So we're not having any problems spending the budget whatsoever, which is really exciting. And now we need to get into that frame of mind of actually, how do we reduce that cost per click, and how do we drive that click-through rate and get more out of this ad spend? But I think one of the interesting things that we're also seeing is a much lower click-through rate. Now, again, the difference between the Google grant and the Bing grant is that there's no minimum. You don't have to reach that minimum 5% click-through rate. So it doesn't matter that our ads are getting a low click-through rate, actually, because there's no regulation which tells us that we need to do anything differently. But one of the other things that we are seeing is a much lower cost per click and a lower cost per conversion as well. So again, very exciting.
And where do we find more information on all of this? Do you have some resources for us?
Yep, so I've got a great resource. We've just written up a new blog, everything we know about the grant so far. So there's links on there to look at your eligibility. There's links for the application. And then just everything that we're seeing so far, some tips, again, just reiterating these things that you need to be aware of. And yeah, you can find that everything on our blog, and I'll give you the link for that so we can link it for the viewers.
All right. Well, thank you, Wendy. As always, it's such a pleasure to see you. Do you want to, just before we close out, tell everyone about Donation World?
Yeah, sure. So we are a philanthropic marketing agency focusing on supporting nonprofits louden their voice through effective digital marketing. So we offer a variety of services. One of the things that we specialize in is the Google Ad grant and now the Bing grant, as well as web development, social media management, and email marketing. So we've supported a number of different organizations. Our passion is working with grassroots organizations that are driving true impact in their local communities. We offer a number of different services at various different sort of budgets, whether that be a sort of done for you service or just an audit service where we can come in and give you some recommendations on how to improve what you're already doing. But on top of that, what we pride ourselves on more than anything else is our vast resources available on our website. So we have a weekly blog with new information going up of trending topics in the nonprofit digital marketing world, and a fantastic Instagram account where you can find a whole host of tips and really useful information to get you on your way and to help you improve what you're already doing.
Yeah, my sister from another mother. That's all the stuff we do, and we're connected on Instagram. So I'm going to link all of your contact information in the description and the show notes on the podcast, because I think we're going to turn this into a podcast too, because there's some great information. But if people want to get in touch with you, it'll all be there.
Fabulous. Thanks, Joanne.
Thanks.